now we will have the second part of this report. First one, we could have the analysis as SWOT analysis. Then we could observe the general presentation as geopolitical distribution. We will have one more time that my SWOT analysis will be presented like this, and this area is inside my company. But the decreasement of capacity as strength indeed will be combined with the weakness that has this empowerment by the decreasement. For instance, if my company has the human resource as department to hire the personnel that should do things according with the statement and respecting the mission and premise of my organization, the outsourcing, and if I reduce the capacity of the human resource department, cutting the director and the people inside, and I will have now the outsource by an agent as human resource which is not part of my company, has no commitment and understand the statement, mission and tradition, cultural behavior of my company, and will be a corrosive argument inside my organization from the very inside, which indeed will be a failure as an empty space linked with this area that will fill little by little people inside, have influence and have capacity to impact the make decision procedure, changing little by little the future of my organization by this window that got broken and can impact, and this model can be presented in all things, considering even the electoral procedure, and not regular electors, but electors that take advantage, and groups that are taking advantage of this democratic system that we have. This will impact the distribution around the globe, considering the quadrants, I would say, as alpha, beta, gamma, and theta. The integration of all these give me the signal. The distribution in each one of those quadrants I will put as A up to Z. And inside each one of those letters I will have A up to Z. Local crime, organized crime nation, and the integration will give me the transnational organized crime, the integration of these, the which implies the association as big blocks, the interconnection as transnational organized crime, setting system or conjuncture of criminality. All these, if you have a failure, will put the entire chain down. We had yesterday offered a possibility, an agreement to you have a minor consequence during the period 2012-2021, considering the public budget Brazil that has transnational organized crime inside, associated with local corruption, especially at the public department, leaving the idea as localization of transnational organized crime by local corruption. We will observe that our criminal law in Brazil, and if it did happen in Brazil, of course that we will observe in the very first moment this criminal law, Article 31, if you give up the intention and things at the digital payment scams with the preparation before, considering the integration of all events that you have, pointing to a unique thing which is on present time the digital payment. If you give up this, which is your current finalism, you will have the benefit as the Article 31 of the criminal law in Brazil. But you, one more time, consider it trust so much in your corruption scam that you got down. Again, we will have on mind that I have something like this. I have my environment public. I have my environment corporate. If they are regular, you know, I will check that they won't have failures or image or something like this. In general, the entire amount of money paid as taxation will be at the public department to give the welfare state and condition. But as you can observe, we have hidden levels of elements here. This kind of association will form the environment A as microconjuncture nation A for criminality. And let's suppose that we'll have this square with the hidden level already exposed by the discrepancy between the taxation and the application of this resource, which is never enough and makes you claim association with other areas by investment, in general corporate investment. And we observe that the distribution of this conjunctural index is 27 in general federative states or units with 5,000 countries. In all, we had distortions, which means failures. The distribution of these fails is the redistribution of this system at those areas, which are the public area outline, the corporative area outline. If all this happen inside one specific conjuncture, will and implies the associated failure as coalition of two both will for sure be the image of this, and the hierarchical distribution as power and decision will present who has the domain at this relation. And this will, the physiological aspect at this conjuncture is named public budget. We had this at the tax stimulus at the covalent thing, and the investment as public investment to have these Olympic Games and all things. We will finish the second part here. We could have until now. First one, the SWOT analysis, considering that criminals have no gender, no nationality, no creed, nothing. It's a behavior. The second thing, we have the redistribution as power around the globe. The third thing, we could observe the pattern and the index as conjuncture, but it's a conjuncture ruled by a negative value, and we could have the demonstration of this using the model. We'll finish here and we'll move ahead.